Hey there, everybody. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Tally Faye. Hope everybody's had them a good Easter today. I'm working on our supper tonight, finishing up actually. The last thing I'm going to do is do this fried chicken. And I've had some people ask me about that. And hey, by the way, Lynn, this is for you. Hope you're healing and doing well, recovering. Okay? Anywho, we're going to get working on this fried chicken. And mine is so basic, y'all, and everything. I don't like all that big old huge crust pieces all over it and everything. I want a crust on it, but I don't want like you get when you buy the bought fried chicken. I love that because I didn't have to cook it, and some of them places I love the taste of it and everything, but that's not home fried chicken like I'm going to show you, okay? And this is the way I do it, and the way I grew up, learned how to do it, and I just think this is the way. This is home fried chicken, y'all. So it's so basic, it's so easy. I mean, it's such a simple thing, and I'm gonna show it to you right now. Okay, I've got me a cast iron skillet, and I got my grease getting hot in it. My grease is probably already hot, y'all. And now listen, as far as the seasonings. My mama would not have used this for nothing, y'all. Buzz loves this stuff, okay? The Tony Chachere's. I call this man salt. There's very few men that don't like this. But if you don't want to use this, you can just do like my mama did, and she just put salt and pepper on her chicken, okay? But I'm going to take this, and I'm going to season my meat. If you don't want to use this, you use whatever, excuse me, whatever seasoning you want, okay? So I'm going to get my meat seasoned up, and I'm just going to toss it around in here. I have my chicken all cut up and ready. I was going to show y'all how to cut one up, and the butcher place that I get them from cuts them up already, which is wonderful. You don't have to take the time to do all that. Okay, so see, I'm going to let that sit there a minute while my grease is getting hot. And that's all you do. See, my meat's sitting there seasoned up. And I just use that man salt on it, y'all. And it really is good on it. I like it. It's just something we would have never used when I was a kid growing up as far as the seasoning on it. But it's good on it, putting it straight on the meat like that. And now, okay, my flour. I just have regular old all-purpose flour in this pot, y'all. I just got me a pile in this bowl. You see, this is pretty nice sized bowl. You can tell by the size of it by my hand, right? There's the bottom of it. There we go. So see, I got it. It's not quite half full, but you know. So what I'm going to do is take me some regular salt, and I'm going to salt the dickens out of my flour, okay? I want a lot of salt in my flour, because that's a big pile of flour, okay? Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared. Okay? So my flour is salted. Nothing else is in my flour. I don't have to be putting garlic powder and onion powder and all that kind of stuff in it and blah, 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 right? If you want it in there, put it in there. That's up to you, okay? But this is regular old home fried chicken, y'all. And I know my grease is hot, so I'm fixing to get started putting my meat in here. And I'm going to have to do this, that pan's not going to hold all of it, so, you know, I'll just have to do it a pan or two at a time. Probably a couple panfuls, if not a third. I didn't get my big skillet out because I didn't feel like digging it out from the back, but see, that's all I'm doing. I no egg, no milk, no none of that, nothing, nothing, nothing. And there's my chicken, dusted and ready, okay? Make sure your grease is hot, because if you put your chicken down in there before your grease is hot, all your flour come off your chicken. Okay? Alright, I can get me one more piece in there. It's so easy, y'all. So easy. I'm going to tell y'all a secret I learned a long time ago. You'll get a kick out of this. Let me wash my hands off. Oh, no, I want to tell you this first while that's cooking. A long time ago, I was watching one of those daytime women shows, right? And this woman had, her guest on there was a country singer, okay? And I don't think I'm supposed to name names or something or whatever, but how can I, let's see. Anyway, this country singer, this woman grew up in Kentucky, okay? She grew up in Kentucky, and she visited on this show, and she told how she fried her chicken, which was not much different from the way I grew up doing my chicken, other than what I'm going to show you here, and I've done my chicken like hers ever since, as far as frying my chicken, okay? So the thing is to have your grease good and hot, okay? And we are waiting on that bottom crust to get good and, what do you call it? Crispy, okay? So while the fire is up high right now, okay? The fire is high, the grease is hot, and I'm getting a good crispy thing on my bottom side of my chicken, because I'm going to do something here in a minute. Me a good cast iron lid. When my house burned up, I lost so much of that stuff. But my peas are over there cooking. I got them cooking slow. And we have got to let this chicken, don't be turning it over nothing yet. We want it to get good and brown on that side. I had so much fun. It was her that I learned this trick from. And you know, my mama might have done it and I just never realized it. I mean, because, it makes so much sense. I don't know why. She probably did, y'all, and I just didn't know it. But it was that, and then I watched this country singer guy. It was a guy, and he visited on that same show, and the way he said he was getting hungry. He had been trying to get in the music business and everything, you know, and he was homesick and all that stuff and everything, and he said he wanted some chicken and dumplings so bad, and you know, he couldn't get them nowhere or nothing, and he called his mama, and she walked him through it and told him how to make chicken and dumplings, y'all. And I'm going to tell you, for the most part, I make my chicken and dumplings like his. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, my peas are boiling. I gotta watch them a little bit. Okay. Alright, y'all. Now, my chicken has got a good crust on it. It's not all the way brown, and I'm not worried about all that. But I am fixing to turn my fire down low now. I'm gonna turn my fire down low, okay? Because I'm fixing to flip this chicken over. And see, it's not completely browned yet, right? But I'm going to flip it over. It's hot enough that that top part will go ahead and gather that crust on it, right? I'm going to sit there and cook for just a second. Let the crust get adhered to it. Okay? And now my fire's down, turned down, so that grease heat is going to back off, right? And that's when I'm going to take this lid. And I'm going to put that lid on it. And I'm going to let it sit there and fry real easy. Real easy with that lid on it. So my fire is low, so the heat of my grease is going to back off. So now I got me a lid on it. I'm going to let it cook on that side with the lid on it for, I don't know. Let me see. I'll watch the clock. Let me see. Okay, it says 4:40. All right, see if I can remember that. Most of the time I can't. But anyway, we'll see how long, how many minutes I'm going to leave it like that. Cooking low and slow, but it's still frying, right? It's still frying. It's not sitting there absorbing grease, you know, or anything. So that's going to be one of the things. And y'all, what that does is it seals that crust on there, and it cooks the inside of it where it makes it juicy, where your chicken ain't all dried out. And it just makes the best fried chicken, y'all. To put that lid on there and let it fry low and slow on the second flip, okay? First flip, your grease is hot, you drop it in there, and you let it seal a crust on there and let it sit there till it's just starting to brown, okay? That's what you do. You'll see the blood and stuff coming out of it from the top, you know. Anyway, let it just be starting to brown. Then turn that fire down low. Go ahead and flip your chicken over while your grease is still hot, and it'll seal that crust good, but your fire's already backed off, letting the heat from the grease back off, and you put that lid on it immediately. And now you're going to sit here and wait and let it fry low and slow on the second flip, okay? Second flip, that's where we're at. So I'm going to let it do that for a few minutes, and then I'll come back. All right, so now it's been about 4.5 minutes, y'all. You see how much slower it's cooking? You can tell it's not as violent, right? And I'm going to flip the piece over to show you that it's just starting to get browned on there. See that? It's just starting to get brown, okay? Well, that's not as brown as I want it, but I just wanted you to see what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back over where it was supposed to be. Okay, I'm just showing y'all that's the only reason I did that. And you're going to have to pick it up and look at it too. Pick you a piece up and look at it when you do this part. But okay, now, it's back where it was, right? It's cooked with the lid on it on low heat for 5 minutes, right? So now we're fixing to turn this fire back up to medium. We want it on medium now. Medium heat. It's going to start cranking back up. Put your lid back on it, and that heat's going to start cranking back up on it now, right? So, okay, remember the first round, when you drop it in there, it's on high. Your fire's been on high. The second round, when you get ready to flip it, you flip it over and turn your fire down to low. Put your lid on it. Let it cook for 5 minutes like that, okay? Take your lid off and check it. Look at a couple pieces on the bottom. Make sure, you know, it's not too dark or too whatever, you know. But by then, it should have starting to get a brown crust on it. Go ahead and put the lid right back on it. Leave it. Don't be flipping it back over, though. Leave it on that side. Put your lid back on it and turn your fire back up to medium. So remember, it's high, low, and medium is how you're going to finish, okay? High, low, and medium. So now the fire's on medium. The lid is on it. It's still on its second side where I flipped it. I've only flipped it once. So that's not the way to say it. I've only flipped it once. Yeah. You know, it's only been flipped once. So we're going to let it brown with the lid on it on that side. And then we're going to take the lid off and we're going to finish off our crust with the lid off of it here in just a few. It won't take long for it to do this with the fire turned back up, right? So I got the lid on it. I wish I could see the peas, how they're cooking beautifully. Little zipper peas. I got the cornbread patties already fried up. The coleslaw's made. The cake's made. And all of these are on separate videos, y'all, so that you can see the separate ones. Like I say, the chicken was going to be the last thing I was going to do. I can hear it picking up, cooking. You can tell it's frying harder. for sure. And that don't take but about 3 minutes or something, y'all. All right. Let me see what it looks like. Okay, it's getting golden, beautifully golden right now. Okay. That crust is getting beautiful on it. You just got to be patient with it. I'm going to turn my fire up a little bit more, okay? Because we know that the inside of this chicken is just almost done from leaving that lid on it, right? and it's all sealed, all the juices are sealed in there and everything. Now we're working on our crust. So that's why I turned the fire back up a little bit. And see, you got to kind of, play that by ear, and you'll know by looking at it. Pick a piece up and kind of look under there a little bit, and if it looks like it's, not doing too much of nothing, turn it up a little bit. But see, it's frying just beautifully now. It's a good fry. So we're working on the crust now. That's what we're doing. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. So I'm fixing to turn this chicken over. It is done on that side, y'all. It's ready on that side. So we're just going to turn them over. Look at that golden crust on there. That's going to be some good stuff, y'all. Now we're doing the finishing out part, and your heat is on the medium to medium high, right? That, everybody's stoves are different, but right here we're finishing off with the medium to medium high. Start off high. Get your crust. Flip it. Turn your fire down to low. And put your lid on it. Let it sit there and cook with the lid on it for like 5 minutes. Okay, around 5 minutes. Then you take your fire and you turn your fire up to medium with the lid on it and let it cook for like 4 or 5 minutes anyway, more, okay? On the medium. You got to watch that. Because it might get too dark on you once you turn your fire up to medium. But with that lid on it, you've got it up to medium. Then you're going to take your lid off, and you're going to let it sit there and finish browning for about 4 or 5 more minutes, right? And then you flip it, and we're getting ready to take it up very quickly. Very shortly here, y'all. Let me flip it around and look at it and see. Oh yeah, we got some beautiful fried chicken right there. Ready to go. Go ahead and take it up. Got me a little old pan over here. Do y'all know your pieces of chicken? Can you tell your pieces of chicken apart? You need to teach them kids how to eat something besides chicken strips. Okay, I'm going to turn my fire back up. I want my fire hot again. So while that's doing that, I'm going to start my process over. I've got my chicken with my seasoning on it. And I'm going to just take it with my salted flour and get me some more going here. Round 2, y'all. This is homemade pan fried. This ain't deep fried like you get from the restaurants. This is pan fried chicken, y'all. This is the way you do it at home, and this is the way anybody my age or up grew up on it, more than likely. I'm going to be able to get all the rest of it in here. So 2 pans of it. These little hens I get from this butcher shop are so good, y'all. They're small hens and they're so tender. I love that about them. They're not old tough chicken meat like you get them old big ones. I don't like that tough stuff going on with them. Okay, and the wings, I gotta set this down. On the wings, you see how they're like this? Okay, I've got the drummy right here, and here's the little tip. You take it and you lock it over there. And that gives you your chicken wing tucked in. Okay, there's your drummy part hooked to it, and here's your that little piece like you get for hot wings, but you just take it and you flip it over behind that thing, and you got your little tucked in chicken wing. And you get it in the flour here. And see, they're ready to go. You get them in this skillet. Alright, let me wash my hands off, y'all. Y'all, it's that easy. It's that easy. That is old home fried chicken, right? I'm going to finish that pan up. And I want you to see how beautiful they are. And that crust and the crusty skin and everything on it is all crispy. The meat is juicy in them. And that is home fried chicken right there, y'all. Pan fried. Okay? I'm going to finish this up in here and get us finished off for our Easter supper and be done for the evening. And I hope y'all just had a great Easter, y'all, and everything. It was a wonderful weekend. And I hope everybody got to enjoy it and rejoice and love each other. So, y'all take care. Thank you for the support and watching me and stuff. And I just love y'all for it. I love you so much for it. And it makes me happy. And I hope it works out for a lot of people that don't know how to do some of these things. So, any-oh-hoo, I love you guys. And y'all take care. And I'll see you next time in the kitchen with Tally Faye.